In this module, we are going to discuss about application of enzyme in baking as well as meat industry.
Baking is a common name for the production of baked goods such as bread, cake, biscuits, crackers, cookies, tortillas, etc. Enzymes are rapidly becoming very important to the baking industry. They are used in baking to make consistently high quality products by enabling better dough handling, providing anti-stalling properties and allowing control over crumb texture, color, taste, moisture and volume. In baking industry, enzyme is mostly applied to bread baking. Most enzymes applied in bread making can also be applied in the other baking applications. Depending upon the raw materials used in bakery products, amylase, hemicellulases, lipases, oxidases, cross-linking enzymes and proteases may be applied to improve the quality or modify the texture of the baked products. Bakery products have undergone radical improvements in quality in terms of flavor, texture and shelf life. The usage of enzymes is the biggest contributor to these improvements. Baking enzymes are used as flour additives and they are used in dough conditioners to replace chemical ingredients and to perform other functions. The baking industry predominantly makes use of different types of enzymes. Amylases are used to convert starch to sugar and to produce dextrins. For strengthening and bleaching of the dough, oxidizers are used. Hemicellulases and proteases are the enzymes which have an effect on wheat gluten. While hemicellulases improve gluten strength, proteases reduce gluten elasticity. All these enzymes together play an important role in maintaining volume, crumb softness, crust crispiness, crust coloring or browning and in maintaining freshness. Bread is the product of baking a mixture of flour, water, salt, yeast and other ingredients. The basic process involves mixing of ingredients until the flour is converted into dough, followed by baking the dough into bread. The aims of the bread making processes are to produce dough that will rise easily and have properties required to make good bread for the consumer. To make good bread, dough made by any process must be extensible enough to expand during proofing. Bread dough must also be elastic. Elastic dough has the strength to hold the gases produced while rising and stable enough to hold its shape and cell structure. For decades, enzymes such as malt and microbial alpha amylases have been used for bread making. Due to the changes in the baking industry and the demand for more varied and natural products, enzymes have gained more and more importance in bread formulations. Through new and rapid developments in biotechnology, a number of new enzymes have recently been made available to the baking industry. One example is pure xylanase with single activity instead of traditional hemicellulose preparations, which improves the dough machinability. A lipase has gluten strengthening effect that results in more stable dough and improved crumb structure similar to datum or SSL or CSL and alpha amylase that has a unique anti-stalling effect. There are certain enzymes discussed here which are applicable to bread and other baked products. Alpha amylases are the enzymes which are most frequently used in bakeries. The reasons for this are the flavor department and anti-stalling effect. Amylases also have a positive effect on dough development. Amylases can act on damaged or gelatinized starch since these are susceptible to enzymatic attack. Suitable dosages of amylase lead to the desired improvement of dough and the final product. However, extensive degradation of damaged starch due to too high levels of alpha amylase leads to sticky dough. The volume and crumb structure improve with increasing levels of amylase added to the flour. Amylases also have effect on staleness of bread. These enzymes have a significant action on gelatinized amorphous starch. Modification of gelatinized starch results in a clear anti-stalling effect. Xylenases are broadly used in bread making, and depending on the application, there is generally an appropriate xylenase or a mixture of different xylenases that gives the desired effects in terms of dough handling properties, stability, oven spring and volume. Xylenase improves the dough machinability. Specific lipases are claimed to improve dough handling properties, to increase dough strength and stability, to improve dough machinability and to increase oven spring. Besides this, lipases also improve crumb structure and crumb whiteness. Use of lipases in baking is claimed to be alternatives to chemical dough strengtheners and emulsifiers. However, the technical and commercial benefits are limited. Like datum, lipases also increase surface pressure of gas cells, which leads to a better distribution of more stable, smaller gas cells. This results in finer, silkier crumb structure with optically whiter color, better dough handling properties, and to a certain extent, a larger loaf volume. In bread making, after mechanical development of the gluten network, the three-dimensional protein structure needs to be stabilized by oxidants. Small amounts of oxidizing reagents such as potassium bromate or dihydroascorbic acid improve the dough handling and baking characteristics of wheat flour, which increases loaf volume and improves bread crumb. Increasing demands by consumers for more natural products with fewer chemicals and especially concern about the possible risk of bromate in food have created the need for bromate replacements. Therefore, oxidases are gaining increasing attention in the baking industry. Glucose oxidase for bread making has been known very well. Glucose oxidase has good oxidizing effects that result in a stronger dough. It can be used to replace oxidants such as bromate and ascorbic acid in some baking formulations and procedures. In other formulations, it is an excellent dough strengthener along with ascorbic acid. Proteases have a long history in bread making and are traditionally used to treat bulky dough resulting from overly strong and too elastic flours. Originally, the aim of proteases addition is to improve softness, dough handling properties and dough machinability. However, proteases have more functional effects. Functional effects of proteolytic enzymes are reduction of mixing time, improvement of dough machinability, improvement of gas retention due to better extensibility, improved pan flow in bun and roll production, improvement of crumb texture, improved water absorption, improved color and flavor. Cakes and muffins are produced from the basic ingredients like wheat flour, sugar, eggs and fat source. Cakes are produced by mixing the constituents into a liquid batter and include air to form a foam. The air expands during baking and the foam transforms into a sponge because of the viscosity increase caused by the gelatinization of starch. A cake or muffin batter may be considered as an oil in water emulsion which can be stabilized by emulsifiers. Emulsifiers are an important part of cake and muffin recipes. They are added to support the incorporation of air and to improve dispersion of fat in the batter and will also stabilize expanding gas bubbles in the batter during baking. Replacement of these emulsifiers by a commercial lipase in the production of cake is possible. addition of commercial lipase reduces the surface tension and surface viscosity at the air or water interface of batter. This indicates that surfactants are created which replaces proteins at the air or water interface. After baking, it results in increase in cake specific volume and maintaining a fine crumb structure. Eating quality and perceived freshness are also improved. In a cake recipe, when the amount of egg is reduces, the quality of the cake in general will deteriorate. This deterioration can be counteracting by adding phospholipase to the cake batter. Phospholipases increase cake volume and improve cake properties during storage like increased cohesiveness, springiness and elasticity. Apart from lipolytic enzymes, starch degrading enzymes can also apply in cake production. Starch degrading enzymes prevent cake stalling. Bacterial amylase can use as a part of a cake powder conditioner which can improve the quality of cake in general and more specifically the softness of the crumb and the shelf life of the product. Proteases are used to lower the viscosity of cereal flour suspensions and to avoid checking during biscuit baking. Nowadays, it also applies to retard stalling of the cake crumb. Use of intermediate thermostable alkaline proteases, for example, keratinase and thermitase, which has no perceivable influence on the dough rheology, has a pronounced effect on the softness and retardation of the crumb hardness, resulting in a prolonged shelf life. Specific proteases may also be applied to improve the flavor of cakes. Biscuit manufacturing generally includes several steps like mixing, resting time, machining, and finally baking. Crackers belong to the category of hard dough biscuits and can be either chemically leavened or fermented. Sodium metabisulfite (SMS) is currently used in the baking industry to soften biscuit dough. In particular, SMS is used in the industry to reduce shrinking of dough pieces and irregular sizing of baked products. The use of proteases to modify gluten quality has been very well known. Protease can be used in cracker in order to increase dough extensibility. This allows cracker manufacturers tight control over dough consistency. Compared to sulfite, proteases work in a different way since they hydrolyze the inner peptide linkages of gluten proteins, whereas SMS increases extensibility by breaking the disulfide bonds. The texture of the biscuits obtained will also be more open and tender. Use of an oxidation-sensitive protease such as pepin in combination with an oxidizing enzyme such as glucose oxidase producing an oxidizing agent can enable biscuit manufacturers to mimic the effect of sulfide in dough. Sometimes, pepin hydrolyzes the gluten to such a degree that the resulting dough is not suitable for biscuit baking. The combination of pepin and glucose oxidase results in a quick decrease in dough consistency to a desired level. More even baking can also be achieved by improving the properties of the dough through the addition of hemicellulose and cellulose degrading enzymes. It has been found that the enzymes make the dough softer, requiring less water, less energy input, finally resulting in increased factory output. The use of hemicellulases in cracker dough can potentially be also very useful. The partial breakdown of the water extractable hemicellulose fraction will lower the water binding capacity. Hence, more water will be available and softer dough will be achieved. Consequently, less water is needed to prepare the dough. Furthermore, a reduction in baking time will be achieved as well as an improvement in quality through more even baking resulting in reduced checking. alpha amylases play a minor role in biscuit manufacturing. Due to the fact that alpha amylase is able to produce dextrins from damaged starch, they will play a role in the enzymatic browning during baking, resulting in a darker biscuits. Also, the addition of fungal alpha amylase will potentially prevent checking as well as creating a leavening effect and improved flavor department. The amylase will act on the damaged starch granules, thereby providing food for yeast to generate carbon dioxide while at the same time liberating water from the damaged starch. This will improve the distribution of water throughout the dough, creating more uniformity, hence less problems with checking after baking. Use of pantocenas will reduce checking in crackers by reduction of the water content and will be particularly useful in low-fat and or high-fiber formulations. Dough containing low level of fat or high level of fiber do require higher amount of water to be added to the process in order to achieve good machinability. This water also needs to be removed during baking, resulting in longer baking times. The addition of hemicellulases will result in lower water binding capacity, hence more water will be available for easier processing. Tortillas are unleavened, flat, round breads made from wheat or corn. Flour tortillas are made of wheat flour, water, shortening and salt, preservatives, leavening agents, reducing agents and emulsifiers. Stalling of tortillas involves the starch in the amorphous phase and does not significantly interfere with the amylopectin crystallization. It is proposed that bacterial alpha amylase partially hydrolyzes the amylose, starch bridging the crystalline region and protruding amylopectin branches. Starch hydrolysis decreases the rigid structure and plasticity of starch polymers during storage. The flexibility of tortillas results from the combined functionalities of the amylose gel and amylopectin solidifying the starch granule during storage. In the meat industry, there are two distinct applications in which enzymes can markedly boost the manufacturing process and upgrade meats of poorer quality. These applications are tenderization of too tough meat parts and restructuring of fresh, low-value meat pieces and trimmings to higher quality steaks. In meat industry, predominantly protein degrading enzymes have been used. Cross-linking enzymes like transglutaminases have been used as a texture improvers. In addition to this, novel enzymes are discovered. Structure engineering by oxidative enzymes and flavor design by lipases, glutaminases, proteases, and peptidases are examples of emerging enzyme technologies in the food sector. Consumers' demands for high quality and moderate price meat products have been the driving forces to develop enzymatic methods to add value to lower quality meat piece. Proteases have an important role in meat processing in tenderization. Papain, bromelain, and ficin are being used at commercial scale meat tenderization. Furthermore, proteases have been used for bone cleaning and flavor formation in the meat industry. Lipases can be used for flavor formation in sausages production. Transglutaminases can be used for structure engineering for tailoring the structural properties of different processed and heated meat products. Oxidative enzymes can be an alternative for transglutaminases to generate cross-links in protein matrices. Oxidoreductases, including tyrosinases and lacases, are reported to cross-link meat proteins. I-glutaminase, I-glutamin amino hydrolase, produced by starter cultures, has an important role in flavor formation, for example, in sausage production. Texture and tenderness are the most important attributes in meat products. Methods to increase tenderness include natural aging, electric stimulation, mechanical blade tenderization, and use of added proteolytic enzymes. The most widely used exogenous enzymes in meat tenderization are the plant enzymes pepin, bromelain, and ficin. The way of applying tenderizing enzymes in meat industry depends on the actual target. If the aging time of high-grade meat parts has to be shortened, the main action of protein hydrolysis should be myofibrillar proteins. If the tenderness improvement of lower-grade meat cuts or meat from the connective tissue proteins, mostly collagen, should be the target of proteolysis. Plant proteases mainly used to tenderize meat act unfortunately more actively on other meat proteins than on collagen. Therefore, attempts to tenderize collagen-rich connective tissue inevitably led to too extensive hydrolysis of non-collagen proteins, resulting in too soft, mushy meat. To tenderize meat pieces with a high connective tissue content, it is evident that an enzyme having pronounced activity against connective tissue but limited activity against myofibrillar proteins should be used. Flavor has a major role along with tenderness in acceptability of meat by consumers. The flavor of raw meat is quite bland. However, it contains non-volatile constituents that are essential flavor precursors which during processing and storage affect the taste of the meat product. In general, the flavor of processed meat is a result of either enzymatic action or chemical. The main enzymatic reactions affecting meat flavor or formation of flavor precursors are proteolysis or lipolysis. During ripening, proteolysis takes place, which is mainly catalyzed by endogenous enzymes such as cathepsin and trypsin like peptidases, as well as proteases produced by microorganisms are involved in the ripening process. Glutaminase addition to protease has an important role from the point of view of sausage production, especially regarding the deamidation of glutamine, which produces ammonia and umami flavor. Umami can be described as savory or broth-like taste with ability to enhance other flavors. Liposis constitutes another important group of enzymatic reactions which are related to aroma formation of fermented sausages. Phospholipases and lipases hydrolyze phospholipids and tricyl glycerols, forming free fatty acids. Unsaturated fatty acids are further oxidized to aroma volatile compounds. This oxidation may lead to the formation of aliphatic hydrocarbons, alcohols, aldehydes, and ketones. Further, alcohols react with free fatty acids, forming some esters. Apart from the hydrolytic enzymes affecting the tenderness of meat or generation of flavor, the functional properties of meat proteins can be modified by cross-linking enzymes. These enzymes are used to bind fresh meat pieces together and to tailor the structural properties of various processed meat products. The main target protein in meat for cross-linking enzymes is the microfibrillar protein, myosin. Cross-linking enzymes are generally capable of positively affecting gelatin and consequently the texture of meat gels. Transglutaminase has been the main cross-linking enzyme which is applied industrially in meat protein modification. Traditionally, salt and phosphates in conjunction with heat treatment have been used to bind meat pieces together. Unheated comminuted products are usually frozen to enhance binding. Nowadays, when consumers demand fresh, unfrozen meat as well as lower salt contents, technologies have been developed to eliminate the need for freezing and to enable the use of less salt. One of these technologies is the enzyme-aided restructuring. Transglutaminase has been found to improve the strength of restructured meat protein gels with or without added salt and phosphates. In addition to binding fresh meat pieces together, the effects of transglutaminase have been used in isolated meat protein systems and model meat products aiming at improved textural properties. Transglutaminase catalyze formation of additional covalent bonds in structural meat proteins leads to firmer gel structures. Proteases can be applied for production of protein hydrolysates from different meat byproducts such as bones, sheep visceral mass, chicken byproducts or bovine byproducts. These hydrolysates can be used as flavor enhancers, as seasoning additives, as nutritional additives to low-protein food products or as animal feed supplements when not suitable for food use. Enzymes can also be used for treatment of fresh bones to be suitable for gelatin production. This process produces meat extract and clean bones for subsequent gelatin manufacture.
So by this, we come to know various applications of enzyme in a baking as well as meat industry. Thank you.